Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby and have ourselves a drink.
All right, and Michaela singing means we are back in the lobby bar for the week of June the 23rd, 2025. Brian and Michaela here with you. And Michaela, this past weekend, I got to go on a little bit of a trip. My wife and I
Mm.
took the nephew up to the great city of Chicago, the Windy City, which is pretty exciting because you and I actually are going to Chicago later in the summer, right? We're going to go to Chicago. It'll be your first time going, I
It
believe.
will. Yeah,
But I have,
first
but I
time
have a
not in an airport of Chicago.
not at an airport. Yeah, O'Hare does not do the city of Chicago justice because Chicago is lovely. So I'm definitely looking forward to taking you there because I've been a couple of times now, and I have to say that the cocktails in Chicago, along with the food in Chicago, on a side note, top notch, top notch. So I have a lot of Chicago cocktails that I'm going to be talking about this week on the Hangout. So if you're a member of the Patreon in the Red Carpet Club or the Cocktail Connoisseur Club or the Video Game Club, you can come to our Hangouts. We do one of those a month, and we talk all about cocktails and we talk all about movies. We record that so the rest of the patrons get to listen in on it. But if you want to come to the Hangout, you check out those tiers. That's on patreon.com/drink the movies. You can find out all the things I drink in Chicago. So I'll give Michaela a bit of a sneak peek of what we can expect when her and I go to Chicago later on this summer. But with me being in Chicago, that left you behind. So, what did you come up with for the lobby bar this week? And it looks like from our notes here that you took my request to heart because I see a lot of basil going on in this one.
Yeah, I took your request to heart because I have 3 pounds of basil now that I
Yeah.
have to do something with. And look,
Can
I
you
found
can
this
basil? I don't
really.
know.
I don't. That's a good question.
Don't
Pickled
don't do that.
basil.
Yeah, we're
Don't
not
do that.
canning experts. Yeah, don't do that.
Don't do that. Don't do that. It might seem like the world's coming to an end. I don't think basil is the first thing on the canning list if I was gonna can stuff. Can you can extra vodka? I don't know. But I think that this uses a kind of a really cool base, and it's basil and sugar that you pulverize together to make this paste. Okay. Now
Hmm.
you add water to it. So you're basically making like a basil simple syrup. But you
Okay.
do it in a way that you take the basil, you take a 10, it's very specific, this example. You take 10 basil leaves.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Not
you really need
nine,
10.
not 11.
10, and you're gonna pulverize them together in like a jar with 2 teaspoons of sugar until the sugar is all crystallized and powdery. You're gonna add some water, and then you're just gonna keep pulverizing and keep muddling that until the sugar has completely melted. It's not quite a simple syrup because in a simple syrup you heat the sugar in water so it melts. This is really going to be, it's like a simple syrup, but it's not, but it's more of a paste. It turns this beautiful, like bright green color. It's really lovely. Then you're going to take some of that. I took like half an ounce to an ounce. You're going to add that to vodka, any vodka of your choice, an ounce and a half of that, and you're going to put that in a glass of ice, and then you're going to top it off with your favorite tonic. Now, I know that your girl here loves elderflower tonic. I would not recommend that. You certainly can, but I would probably do like an Indian or a Mediterranean tonic for this because you really want that basil flavor to come through. Um, Add a little bit of lime juice, freshly squeezed lime juice if you would like half an ounce. And you got this really bright, really refreshing, really like effervescent drink that I'd never heard of before. I went and looked it up. I was like, what is the best vodka or best basil cocktail out there? And Fox's Love Lemons did me right on this one. So go check them out for the full, like, I don't know, there's 18 pages of where to get the limes and how to find the basil and all of that. But the recipe's at the bottom, and it's real good. It's a real good one.
Yeah, it is really good. I like this methodology a lot. It reminds me of the same kind of way you put together a mint julep, and that you're,
Mm.
muddling that mint with the sugar. But here you're doing the basil instead. So a couple of tips here. When you add your basil sugar mix to your 1.5 ounces of vodka, I'd go ahead and shake that in a shaker tin with some ice. It's going to incorporate that sugar into the vodka a little bit better. And then you're going to want to do yourself a solid and double strain that, so that way you don't get any little basil leaves stuck in your teeth. That's going to go a long way for keeping the smile bright this summer. And then, yeah, add your tonic water. So Fever Tree makes the elderflower tonic that Michaela is a big fan of. They also make a cucumber one, which would be actually delicious in this instance. I think cucumber basil, that sounds pretty good to me. But yeah, definitely just a plain tonic. And this is going to be perfect all summer long because A, the basil, it keeps coming. And B, my phone just pinged because we're under a heat advisory for like the next, I don't know, like 4 months or something, basically. So stay inside. Drink these, stay in the AC, and get to using your basil. Yeah, this sounds absolutely delicious. So I can't wait to mix up one of these here this coming weekend and try that out for myself. So thank you so much, Michaela, for sharing your love of basil cocktails with me, and thank you everyone out there who sent in a basil cocktail. And if you have any more basil suggestions, send those our way. This week at the box office, How to Train Your Dragon, it remains on top. It fought off the newcomers. It soared to another $37 million. It soared. See what I did there? Coming in
Ooh.
second is the new film we're going to be talking about here later this week. We're going to go see it on Tuesday night, tomorrow night, 28 years later, with $30 million. Elio, a very disappointing $21 million, but can it really be disappointing when you don't market your movie? I don't know for sure. Lilo and Stitch and Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. So, 28 years later, we're going to be talking about at length, Michaela, and we're also going to be talking about 28 days and 28 weeks later over on the Patreon. Same address as before. So, let's not talk about that. We're going to talk about that at length on Thursday. Let's talk about Elio for a second. Now, I've heard from people that have seen it that Elio was pretty good, but still, I still haven't heard anything about Elio.
Nope. I was thinking for sure that when we watched How to Train Your Dragon, the live action film, that there would be a preview of it somehow.
Hmm.
Just
We saw like
because
we
it
saw like the fifth preview for Fantastic Four. But
we sure did. We sure did. But we did not see any Elio. So I think it's going to be one of those that is kind of an underground. What did they used to call it? They used to call it a sleeper. It
mm-hmm.
might, and maybe they're doing this because Walt Disney and Pixar need something to come to the need to show up on Disney Plus later. I don't know. I don't know. That's gonna like take America by storm when we don't leave the house again. I don't know. It kind of makes me sad though because this one actually looks pretty good, um, and I have no idea if I should actually spend the money to go see it because I haven't seen a preview of it. Um,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
same.
I got
I
nothing
don't know.
else. I got nothing else. I mean,
Yeah, and it's
I got nothing else.
and its time to shine is quickly coming to an end. So we'll see. Yeah, it'll get to streaming. Maybe it'll pick up some legs there, and we'll get a chance to watch it. Yeah, being Pixar, I mean, I assume that it's great, but yeah, I still haven't heard like hardly anything about it. So let us know if you've seen Ely out there, and let us know if you're going to see any of the things coming to the theater this week because we have a busy week at the theater and at home. Michaela, we don't have plans right now to see either of these things. Maybe we will. We definitely want to go see one of these, I know for sure. But we have Megan 2.0 is coming out, the sequel there to that first Megan, which was kind of a pretty big success, right? Kind of came out of nowhere. People seem to really like that one. So the second part of that. And then we also have the new Brad Pitt F1 film directed by the Top Gun Maverick director there. So both of those look pretty good. I think we're pretty interested to see F1. We'll have to see about Megan 2.0, but either of these going to drag you out to the theater this week after 28
Oh,
years later?
I don't know about this week, and that because it's a busy week. But Megan 2.0, I was really against. If you'll recall, I was like, "Oh my gosh, why?" And you pulled me out of my curmudgeonness and said, "Hey, Michaela, it looks like they're changing genres here." And we've only seen that a couple of times in, trilogies or quadrilogies of films, where they went from action adventure or they went from horror to like more an actiony kind of film.
Hmm.
I'm looking at you. Alien, way to go there. And it certainly hasn't been it's been difficult for film franchises to do that effectively, right? So
Hmm.
I think I'm more excited to see it now because of the conversation we had. I still have to see Megan 1.0. I have not seen the original because it looked like a robot gone evil to me, and I was like, I got enough of Annabelle's in my life, so I need to see the first one. But I will probably do that. I don't know if I'll make it to the theater in time to see this one because now I'm seeing that now movies have a shelf life of about 3.5 weeks. If
Yeah.
they're not making money, especially, they're out of there. They're not going to be there for very long, right? I'm surprised Mission Impossible has been out for 5 weeks now. I can't believe it. It seems crazy to me that it's still on the theater because I would have thought it would have been pulled out yet.
Yeah, absolutely, because we have a full slate of things coming out here over the next couple of weeks. So everything's going to have to try to dip in and dip out, making as much money as it can. So yeah, maybe I'll do a Megan double header here at some point, maybe when it comes to streaming. I'm not sure. Got a couple of other things coming to streaming if you missed these in the theater. The Day the Earth Blew Up is coming to HBO Max. That is the Looney Tunes film that basically got canned by Warner Brothers and then found new life, and they ended up, I guess, grudgingly releasing it. But that's available to stream, I believe, this week. And the Minecraft movie also available to stream on HBO Max. And then we have some TV stuff coming out, Michaela. We've got season 3 of Squid Game, which I think is going to be the final season of that. I've still not dove into the world of Squid Game, so that's on the to-do list for sure. We have season 1 of Ironheart, which is the Marvel thing there. I believe the Ironheart got introduced in Black Panther. Wakanda Forever, if that's correct. My Marvel lore is all mixed up here as of late. And then we have the big one, Michaela. Season 4 of The Bear starts on Hulu.
Oh my gosh. Oh, okay. Well, I'm so glad I watched seasons 1 through 3 in 3 days because now I have to go watch it again in prep for season 4 of The Bear. Look, everybody listening, if you've not seen The Bear, Brian was right. Listen to Brian. Don't listen to me. Go watch it. Now, I will say, Squid Game, I've only seen season 1. I thought season 2 had just come out. So I'm kind of surprised that season 3 is here. Maybe I am just behind the times. That's fine. Squid Game is really an interesting story. But I will say, if you watch 2 episodes and you're not into it, you're not going to be into the rest of it. There's no, it's not like Lost where it's a slow burn and then it gets you at the end and then you can't stop putting it down and you're completely addicted to it. It is not that. So I will say, if you've
Mhm.
not watched it, first of all, the kids need to be far, 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 far away from the TV when you're watching it. It is not for children at all. But if you like what you're seeing in the first couple episodes, it's just more of that, which is great, or not, depending on what you're saying. So yeah, I'm really excited about the bear. I thought I was gonna have to wait another 8 months for that to come out. Woohoo!
Yeah, see, and it ties it all back into my Chicago trip this week. So last week on the podcast, we talked about How to Train Your Dragon. That was a really good conversation. And this week, we're taking in 28 Years Later, a film that I believe I can speak for Michaela here in saying that we're definitely excited to go check out. And definitely excited to talk about the 28 Days and 28 Weeks Laters over on our Patreon. And again, doing our hangout this week as well. So go check that out. Again, it's patreon.com/drinkthemovies. But now that Michaela brought me a basil cocktail, I'm going to go ahead do my next round of harvesting. I'm going to mix up one of those, refresh myself so I can beat the heat. And we'll talk to everyone next week in the lobby bar.